Hello and good morning, Grand Rising Queens and Kings. Today we have a phenomenal, talented, beautiful guest representing herself and her story today. She is a powerhouse. I would like to welcome Miss Antoinette Logan. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me today. It is a pleasure to be here with you.
Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, ma'am, you did.
Okay. Ms. Logan is a multifaceted media professional, author. She's based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and Chicago. She offers a variety of services through multiple job types rather than the traditional single job. Ms. Logan, some of my questions here are going to be different and funny. And I also like to ask my guests, what is your favorite quote and why? But I want to start off by asking you, how did you build your career? And could you tell us a little bit about your story?
Sure. Well, I think that my career was kind of built organically just off of the different things that I was doing along the journey. My background with focusing on my creativity probably started when I didn't even know it was starting. I was separated from my parents early on in life. I think it was either 2 days or 2 weeks old. My mom gave me to a family who I grew up as my godparents, and when you grow up without being with your birth parents, and you know that you're not with your birth parents, there's always going to be some form of isolation and independence that comes with that. And during that time, that's where creativity starts to brew and shows you different things you can do and that you might want to try and things like that. So I dibbled and dabbled in many different things from modeling, commercials, plays, music, speaking, poems, singing, rapping. I've done a little bit of this and that. And I think that that was my chance of really just learning the ins and outs of the different industries and seeing what it's like at different levels, because I've worked at entry level on things and moved my way up to being in the newsrooms and, with the CEOs and at the round table having conversations about plans for the companies and just different levels with different types of companies, not all my own companies, other companies before I was even a business owner. So, yeah, I don't know if that really answered your question completely, but
Yes,
that's kind
yes.
of where I started at.
Wow. So even as a young person, your creativity pushed you in, and that's where you got your drive from.
Yes.
Because a lot of kids, I lost my mom when I was 9, so I do have
Wow.
compassion, and I'm so sorry that you
Eh,
had to go through that because you sound like a beautiful soul.
Thank
Um,
you, and same to you as well.
Thank you. But yeah, some kids, when they have those circumstances and issues happen in their life, they either go one direction or one other path. So
Hmm.
you was self motivated and disciplined, and that is a beautiful thing to have. Um,
Thank you.
yes, yes. So I heard a little bit of you was a different. You was a. I heard singer,
Hmm.
theater. Which one
Hmm.
of those did you inspire as a child to be, or was that just something that you fell into?
Well, I was writing early. I wrote my first poem in the preschool age, the roses are red type poems.
Mm.
And I always been a writer. I used to sing a whole lot within the church experience when I was younger. I traveled and sang at other people's churches for holiday events and things like that. My childhood best friend, who I used to sing with, is actually a professional singer. She was on The Voice. Um, I mean, I've been around a lot of greatness in other people. And even though I wasn't with my mom and my dad all the time, I was able to connect with just different influences that I think that I was taking my own bits and pieces from all these
Mm.
different places that were brewing and building up the version of me that I have yet to see yet. I mean, I'm nowhere near my best self. I'm getting there. I'm still going to
Still
become
growing.
her. I see her often. I'm just not all the way her yet, but we're getting there. And I'm sure when I get to the one I see, there'll be another version of me that I'm striving to become. So I think that that's the beauty of life, though.
Mm.
You know, you go through different experiences. You pick and choose which parts of each experience you're going to take with you to the next experience, and let that help you grow and elevate.
Yes, yes. I think as human beings, it's okay to take the goodness and those bits and pieces from people that, not say role models, but are, that in your circle and in your life, it don't always have to be something bad that you're trying to have a takeaway from. And it, like it
Absolutely.
rubbed off, you know, you'll be a good person, productive citizen.
Yeah, you know, it can work both ways. You can take along some bad habits too. And I did that too. You know, it wasn't a perfect, pretty picture. There was a lot of mishaps and things that went on, and habits that I could have not picked up. And we learn, we grow, we adjust. You know, that's life.
So, what is the one thing that you started in the beginning that you have grown from or learned from that you made a mistake and you can laugh at now?
Hmm.
And how did it affect you, really?
One thing. Let me think. I got to think about it now. Um, that I can laugh about. Um, I guess I would say I'll use this because Facebook gave me a reminder the other day about how I used to when I was a kid, I used to get in trouble for talking too much, and they would put me in the corner and tell me I can't talk for X amount of hours. And if I say something, the hours start over again. Then there were phases in my life when I was living with my mother where she wouldn't communicate with me. She would write notes and letters and slide them under the door or tape it to the door. And that's how she would communicate with me. And in school, I would get in trouble for talking too much. So I didn't recognize this then, but I look at it like, okay, well, I was already a talkative person, but if I'm being put in predicaments at home where it's like there's no communication or I can't talk at that time and I want to talk, yeah, at school, you probably is going to talk too much because you're trying to get out everything you're trying to say, you know, that you normally don't have nobody to talk to when you're not around a lot of people. So I take that to say that the thing that used to get me in trouble is now one of the things that I've learned a lot from because growing through business, I did talk a lot and sometimes share too much information with the wrong people in regards to business, you know, on different levels, like sharing personal business info that somebody could steal your idea when it's not completely ready for you to share. And then the other time that I could talk too much was when like I get a customer that's doing a free consultation, but you give them so much in that free consultation that there's no reason for them to be a paying customer because you gave them what they needed during the free. Well, I've learned and I've grew from that. And I still laugh about it because I laughed at how they say, you know, you talk too much and you shouldn't be talking so much. But there was a time when out of 1,000 people, only 6 people were chosen by Google to be interviewed for, you know, this whole media conversation. And they flew to Chicago, came to my house and paid me a nice fee. I got paid for it too, you know, just to talk about what they needed me to talk about. And then I'm a public speaker, and here I am talking to you to expand my brand and share information. So, you know, I think that a lot of things that are set in place to make us feel a way at one time of our lives, you know, the same things that make you laugh can also be the same things that make you cry. And I think that you just have to be ready for the bumpy road and navigate it as it happens.
Wow, there was some big takeaways from that. I'm know your circle, but I think, and there's also a lesson in the blessing and in the message, because even though people took from you and told you not to speak, you took that and you paved the way for yourself, and that's amazing. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I always say it's bigger than me. It may be me that you see, but I'm definitely spirit led and following something that I sometimes can't explain. It's just it's organic. It's a thing that is in you. If it's for you, it's in you. You know what I mean? It's you just know it. I can't put it into words because when we say God, you can tell somebody God or Jehovah or any term you want to put on it. But unless the person you're talking to has an experience of their own where they
Mm,
can fully grasp what you are trying to convey, they don't really get it. I've had conversations with people that are very religious and very spiritual as far as they would say, right? And when I try to explain what I experienced for how I got to certain places, they don't understand. And it's not because they don't know God or they don't know the universe or they don't know Jehovah or whatever religion or spirituality they come from. It's not they don't know, it's they don't know my experience.
mm,
So I just to sum it up into words, just know that it's a spirit led thing. It's something that's inside and that's the guiding force. And I think that every single person actually has this, but if you don't tap in, if you don't take the time to understand, not understand, overstand, truly get to know that part of you, because it's inside of you. It's nowhere you can look on the outside to find this and understand this and learn this. It's just not. It's not a book. Like I wrote a book called It Starts With I. But in that book, am I really giving you a step by step process? No. I'm literally giving you tools to empower that part of you. It's literally for you because nobody could tell you how to fully tap into yourself. We can give you different strategies we took. It's a million and one of them out here. It's a reason why it's so many strategies out here because there's no one cookie cutter way to get to know yourself at your core. There's a lot of things you can try, but until you do the work for yourself, you'll figure out, what's best for you to tap into that part.
amen. 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 I do believe that life is a journey, and it's your journey, and you are the pen writer of that journey.
Mm-hmm.
And there's lessons to be learned, and then there's growth to be done. And if you want to evolve, you definitely need to have that balance of mind, spirit, and body. Um,
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
it's some people it takes longer in life, and that's okay. Just don't give up on yourself. That's
You
all.
know, so I don't remember where I got this from, but it's something that I've carried with me for a while since learning this. And I'm refraining this from, where they say some people would take longer in life, where when we're talking about that time thing. Time is something that we were given. It's not actually that's too deep to even go there. But
Oh, please,
in a
please.
nutshell, time is not actually in existence the way we know it in this realm that we're in. So, whereas one person may think I should have done this by this age, and you should have done this by this age, that could very well not be the case for 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people standing right next to you, even in your same environment, you know? So I think that we allow the world that we are in to put stipulations on us that ain't even for you. Because, first of all, when you first recognize that you are a spiritual being in a human experience, when you realize that, why would you even compare that to what's going on in this human experience? Because this ain't even, you know what I'm saying? So, you know,
I totally agree. I totally agree. I'm just, and I'm not, God, I am thankful to be here because if they knew my story, um, but I lost my mom at 9. She lost her mom when she was 13 or 14. So
wow.
I grew up thinking that I was never going to have kids. And if I did have kids, what was going to happen to me?
Mm-hmm.
So for a long time of my life, I stayed stuck or in that mental cage, as I like to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just now learning to love myself completely and my boundaries and saying no when I need to. So yes, it is important to know yourself and know how to change and grow. What
Yeah.
inspired you to write the book?
Oh, well, I have a friend that is in Georgia, right? And I was in Chicago at the time. And this is my girl. Like, you know how it is when you talk to your home girl, big sister. Yeah, and if y'all haven't talked in a little bit, you know, y'all got to catch up on whatever needs to be caught up from the last convo. So I went to my car to talk to her, you know, because now I'm in my car. It's just privacy, me and her, nobody else around. This 10:30 in the morning. So we chit chatting. Next thing I look up, I'm hungry. It's 4:30. So from 10:30 in the morning to 4:30, I've been sitting in my car talking to her. Okay. So yes. So I pulled my pulled the car out the parking spot and I said, let me go and grab me some White Castles. And I ended up missing my turn. And backstory from this story, I was in a few car accidents. So like when it comes to driving, I don't be playing around, messing with the radio, talking on the phone. I be focused on driving if I gotta drive. So I ended up missing my turn because I'm actually on the phone talking to her, which means I'm a little slightly distracted. So instead of busting a U-turn, I keep on going till I can make the first legal turn to get me back on track. Soon as I made this turn, I came to a stop sign on that street. When I got to the stop sign, I just looked up and I seen my significant other with another woman. Okay. Girl, your facial expressions is so funny. Cause she say, wait, what? So I'm telling my sister on the phone, I'm like, girl, you ain't gonna believe this here. So I end up pulling the car over, turning around, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, it wasn't a big scene, but that's what started this whole thing. I ended up going home. That was on a Thursday. The next day was Friday. I am pretty popular for these consultations. And I was booked out really. Like, so I'm like at 8 o'clock in the morning, I gotta be up and ready for my call. Well, here come Friday, and I wake up, I'm still mad about Thursday, about him and this woman. And I'm like, girl, get it together. So I said, you know what? Let me write my affirmations down. So
Mm,
I got my notebook out and I started writing them because I say them all the time, but I needed to do something different than what I normally do because I was more upset than I normally am. You get what I mean? So I was writing them down. When I got to the 11th affirmation, I heard a voice loud and clear said, this is a book. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Let me get up and I went to my table because I didn't have an actual desk. It was a table that I made as a desk. And I went to my table, pulled my computer out, and
I'm so sorry about that.
it's okay. So I went to my table and pulled my computer out, and I started organizing the book, you know, outlining it like a book because, you know, my company, we're a branding agency. So we do graphic design and publishing for ourselves and all that type of stuff. So I'm like, okay, let me organize this out. And I did that. And instead of continuing to write them down on a notepad, I filled the pages in on the computer as a book. And I didn't stop until it was done. So 3 days later, that book was published and for sale. And I think about it was between a week and 2 weeks after that, I had booked me a one-way ticket across the country. And I started my book tour and I stayed on the road for a little over 2 years on tour for
Mm,
that book. And
mm,
it wasn't about him, it was about, why is Antoinette all upset about seeing him with this woman? What is it about Antoinette that you feel this way? So I needed to go and do the work to really get me together, because it's like you can't be this wrapped up into this man that you all upset because he with another woman. Because what that mean? Because truth be told, he wasn't lacking and slacking on me at all, no matter what was going on, wherever it was going on at. And we outside, so it's not like they was, getting it on, having a, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it was things that I needed to work on. And the book is actually focused on the areas of life that I took the time to go and work on, that I already was working on them, but this time I needed to be selfish and only focus on myself. So when I was on tour with this book, I didn't take clients, I didn't do things for business. I really focused on Antoinette, focusing on Antoinette, and that's it. And
Mm.
sharing the message of the book. So it starts with I's affirmations focused on self-love, mindset, business, wealth, money, and growth. And it changed my life.
Mm.
And I recently lost him. He transitioned July 31st last
Yeah,
year. Yeah,
goodness.
but
That's a powerful story, sister. That is a powerful story. That touched my soul because a part of me was saying, now, a younger version of me would have been like waiting to exhale. But the new version of me is like, you know
mhm,
what? My boundaries and who I am comes first, and prioritizing that over acting like a little girl
mhm,
and staying in my feelings. I'm going to move
mhm,
on.
mhm.
It's beautiful. Mm.
You know, it's a thin line with relationships, and that particular relationship, when it started, I had made a choice that I was gonna right my wrongs, meaning the things that I learned from my previous relationships, the things that I did wrong in those relationships, I was going to do right in this one. The lessons I learned, I was going to actually, implement and execute, put it into motion and make it real. And I did that. So like when things wasn't, going like in that situation, it wasn't an option to be fighting and acting plumb crazy out in the middle of the street and all that stupid stuff. It's like, no, we got to do the work to make sure that we okay. Like no matter what somebody else do, that ain't got nothing to do with us. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's his thing. And I'm a different person today because of that. I'm super grateful. Like he's definitely a person that taught me a whole lot, and aided in me being who I am, with the confidence that I now have, how I'm able to truly love myself without any
Mm.
extra thing needed. You know, I used to be a singer and a rapper, so that whole makeup, hair, weave, being on point when they see you all the time was a thing. And it also sometimes kind of came with another persona, or alter ego per se. Once you put that wig on, you somebody else now, you know what I mean? But he used to tell me, he was like, I don't like girls that got all that makeup on, and he'll be talking crazy. He'll see somebody on Instagram or something and talk crazy, like, you see that? She look like a clown and woo woo woo. And what was happening, he was choosing the things that I was using that also would make me feel like, oh, I'm pretty when I put my wig on, or I'm pretty when I wear my makeup. I'm pretty when you get what I'm saying? He was taking those things and making me remove them so that I could love me for who I saw in the mirror without all those things. And it worked. Like I'm a different person now. Like I barely wear my makeup and stuff like that. Actually, girl, they just stole all my stuff at the airport recently. I had a trip to Vegas, and I literally, if I want to start over on that end, I gotta start all the way over. And we talking Mac, Tom Ford, like expensive makeup.
Ooh.
Like, baby, I'm I'm considering saying, you know what? I ain't finna play. It ain't even that serious. Cause that's a big ticket when you try to go get it all at once. Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
But yep. That whole loving yourself thing is very important,
Important.
very important, and it should be the one thing that you put first, because to me it's equivalent to the relationship that you want to have with the higher being, whether it's God, the universe, whatever you connect to. It's you. It's within you. You are it. It is you. It's one and the same. You know what I mean? So, like,
Mhm.
loving you is loving your God or your creator, because it's inside you. And the more you tap into that, I think the stronger that relationship gets and grows.
That is so true. So true. Loving yourself first, then you're able to love others. You're able to be a better human being, be a productive in your community, and looking at world differently. Because
Yeah,
everybody's not always out to hurt you, um,
that is true.
disrespect you, or anything. You just it's your point of view of how you look at things and how people perceive the words that they're saying to you. Um, so you have dabbled in a lot of things. Which one of those have been your most least favorite, and why?
My least favorite thing is probably coaching. And I think the reason why it was my least favorite is because it required the most hand holding.
Mm, okay.
I get it. Everybody is not gonna move at the same pace as others. But my brain moves kind of quick and kind of fast. And I don't really like to be slowed down. And I'm learning that about me. And I find that consulting was way better for me because it allowed me the opportunity to continue to move at my pace, give you what you need, and then let you go and take that information with the time that you need to take it and do it without me having to be slowed down in the process. um it's just a me thing, I love helping people. I love giving out the information that you need to get the results you want. I love providing resources. I do not like moving slow for some reason. I can't explain. Maybe it's because my life has always been moving quickly. I gotta know how
Mm,
to adapt and keep it moving always. As a kid, as an adult, I always got to keep it moving. I'm on the go. So maybe that's why I move like that. But that would have to be my most least liked job, coaching.
okay. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm not saying I'm like that, but you do so much for everybody as women. We wear all the hats, the cook, the wife, the maid, taking the kids, the chauffeur, whatever it is that need, that we don't slow down and take care of ourselves enough. Um,
I agree. I
or go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I actually was having a conversation with a couple different people in connection to that. All the titles and the labels that are put on us. When do we have the option to just be her without the word of anything else in front of it? You have to be a strong woman. You have to be a independent woman. You have to be a pretty and beautiful woman. You have to be a nice woman. All these things, like, please, can we rid the labels, the names, the terms and titles, and just let me be me, the woman? So there's a different kind of respect that comes with owning that womanness in yourself,
Mm,
and is another type of respect that comes with the partner that gives you the space to just be that.
that's a
Most of
nugget
us
right there.
Yeah, most of us actually very rarely actually get to experience it.
Yeah.
I've talked to some women that are in these beautiful relationships and marriages and things like that. They're older than me and they haven't even experienced that, but they are in a beautiful relationship. You get what I'm saying? So their beauty that they find in their relationship isn't defined by certain things, but they still haven't experienced that particular thing.
Mm.
There's something different about being able to just be woman and not having to wear not a single title in front of it.
Yes, I like that. Mm. It was a good nugget right there. It
I, you
really,
know,
really
my
was.
I've had a few friends that send me. You have you ever received those things? You know how they have those little messages on the in the Facebook Messenger. Somebody send you. You just press play, and it say if somebody sent this to you, they really love you and think that you a beautiful, strong woman. And da 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 da. And I've had a
Mm-hmm.
few people send me those, and I tell them right off the back, I say, I am grateful because I know that you sent this to me from a place of love and positivity, but I want to encourage you to understand that the information I'm about to share with you is not intent to be negative to what you sent to me. But I don't desire to be seen as the strong woman. I don't desire to be seen as the independent woman. And these things that you share with me, even though I understand that you're sending it from a good place, I had let them know so they could understand where this is coming from. You know, if you take this same concept that I'm sharing with you and flip it around, we're gonna use a different experience. Now, you know how you see on TV and on different stuff on social media these relationships where girls be calling they significant others or women be calling they significant other, particularly
Mm-hmm.
men, the B word,
Mm-hmm.
and they be fighting and she calling him a B word, or we see these situations where the mama calling the kid the B word, her sons. Now, I'm gonna use this scenario because I want them to understand this. If we constantly saying that to a man or a boy, whether it's our son, our brother, or our significant other, you should expect him to start acting like that at some point, right? Right?
Amen. You
Okay.
put in them what you get. You put in them what you want them to be, and that's gonna come out. Don't
Exactly.
call them that. Don't treat them like that. Don't. And what I really can't stand, and I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm so sorry, but
No, no, it's
ooh,
okay.
what I really can't stand is don't say this one is smarter than the other one, because you
Mm-hmm.
wonder why they both growing up in the same house. One going off to college, and one is in the basement, and they
Mm-hmm.
both growing up in the same house. It's how you treat them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
No, you're right. But all I'm saying is like that's the same exact thing. So flipping it back to what we were saying, if you continue to say I'm a strong woman, I'm an independent woman, guess what's going to happen? The world is going to give you reasons to have to be a strong woman, to have to be an independent woman, to have to be those things. So we have to be very mindful of what we say, what we identify with, what we answer to, what we connect to, what we speak over ourselves in so many ways. The words we use are coming from the thoughts that we think. So now we have to relearn what we want to think about so that we can think the right things, so that the right things will come out of our mouth, which will now uh, manifest and become what we want to actually experience.
That is so true. And it's like you keep holding all these hats and all these things and saying that you're strong, and you wonder why you're having a nervous breakdown,
Yeah,
why you want to quit and give up, and why you're about to feel like you're suffocating.
yeah,
We can't be everything. You need to ask for help. You need to understand that and delegate some things that these kids have around this house for your time to yourself.
mm-hmm.
It's important. Mm. Um, what do you think are three top key components to being a successful person in your niche and field?
Um, you definitely want to be a researcher. You want
Hmm.
to be a person that knows how to research and find information, and you need to be able to comprehend the things that you find. and how to, I'm a think outside the box type person. So I think that consistency and discipline, I kind of go neck to neck as well. Um, and then I would say creative and collaborative. You wanna be creative with how you do what you do, and you also want to be able to connect and collaborate with others to help you do what you do,
Mm.
because you don't need to know how to do every single thing that is a part of, not you don't need to know how to do, you don't need to be the person to do everything that makes up what you do. You want to also be open to collaborating with other businesses or people that can do things that you need done, but don't require you to have to be the one to do it.
Okay.
So I kind of put two things in each bullet that go hand in hand.
Okay. So, what is your favorite quote and why?
Well, it's actually one from my book that I've been using myself for a while. Everything I do is done with love. If it cannot be done with love, it is not for me and does not deserve my time, attention, or energy. I think that it's important that we understand every single thing that we do, we need to be doing it with love. If you're not doing it with love, why are you doing it? Anything, if you don't love pizza, why are you eating it? Just because it's there, you know? Like, don't do something just because. Have purpose behind everything that you do.
Mm. Yes, yes. Passion and purpose. I think if you have a
Yep.
good heart and faith in God, goodness will come back to you. Don't hurt anyone. Don't disrespect no one, and don't abuse or use them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's all right to utilize people, but don't use people.
I was talking with a lady the other day, and she was saying how you have to know your boundaries and know when you have to go through certain doors. People can't go with you, and that's okay. Because it wasn't meant for them to go. Because
Hmm.
I know myself. I try to bring everybody, pull everybody up.
Yep,
And
me
the
too.
way that she mentioned it or spoke about it was like some people are just gonna bring you down, and you're trying to level yourself up, and it's not gonna work. You wonder why you stand stuck.
Facts.
Yes, yes. It was a pleasure speaking with you, Queen. I'm not gonna hold up too much of more of your time. I didn't realize it was going on 12 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining me. Um, can you please let the audience know if you have electronic press kit and how they can reach you?
Yes, I can be connected at linktree.com/, ask Miss Logan. That's AskMsLogan. That'll connect you to everything, but I'm Ask Miss Logan everywhere, all platforms. Yeah, it's really that simple. And reach out for any way that I can help. I'd love to help you out.
Thank you, thank
Thank you
you.
so much for
And is
having me.
your the link to your book, is it in your link tree as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I like to
And
put
it's
everything.
also connected to the pre-sale of the next book in the series, which is It Starts With I Intentions, teaching you how to live an intentional lifestyle.
Ooh, go check those out. Thank you for mentioning that. And
Thank you.
congratulations on your second book and your
Thank you so much.
journey. God
Thank
bless
you.
you, your family, and your journey.
Thank you
Mm,
so much. Same to you.
thank you, thank you. Guys, this has been another blessed and wonderful episode of Entrepreneur Empire. As always, be bold, be beautiful, and be blessed. Until next episode, thank you for watching and tuning in.